Yeah, Lisa. Can you hear me? Lisa, can you hear me? Hello, hello. Alisa, I cannot hear you. Alisa, can you hear me? Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Okay, good. So, Alisa, let us, yeah. Can we continue?
Yes, okay.
So I was talking about how we define the 1D arrays in in VB.NET, and I would like to just share with you the difference between when we define names yesterday and we just use that kind of bracket and we put 9 inside and we set as a string. Can you still remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the difference here, of course, here as and of. Okay, so we know that that this is in pseudocode, but the only thing here different in VB.NET we talk about from 0 until 9, but in pseudocode we don't talk about 0 at all. In pseudocode, always we start from 1. But to be able to so this is the default, but you can change the default if you change here. So if you want to start from 0, then you have to say from 0 to 30, for example, or even to 29. So it depends. But pseudocode, its default is starting from 1. I know it's slightly confusing, but you have to adapt to that and be aware of it. If not, then
Mm-hmm.
might be maybe you have mistakes in your code.
Yes. I'm okay with that. Can you explain like the second line though? The
This
like 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah, this is 2D.
The,
This is the 2D arrays. Do you want me to explain it now at the moment? Before we even go
yeah,
to,
sure.
okay,
I mean, we're already on the page, so like.
okay, sure. So again, this is 1D array, this is 2D arrays, and 2D arrays typically is defined by number of rows and number of columns. So when we have 1 to 3, it means that we have 1, 2, 3 rows this way.
Mm-hmm.
And when we have 1 to 3 in columns, it means that our columns start from 1, 2, and 3. So it means that also we have 3 columns. This is a kind of 2D arrays that, okay, right here. So this is, I would say, just remove that and this portion. Let me write that here like this. And we say this is the rows here. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a way that I define a 2D array of characters, and I would
Yeah.
say, okay, I can put here A and C, D, X, Y, Z, maybe I, F, E, like that. So this is how I create a 2D array in pseudocode. This is the variable name. This is the content, the rows and the columns. And this is the type of the content of the element content inside the 2D array.
Mm-hmm.
Alisa, I think you're still copying.
Yeah.
So what I want to say is that,
No, I'm. Um, what?
okay, so this is the dimensional array. this is the format of this number. So if you see here, 1 actually refer to the lower row, and 3 it means that it's referring to the upper column. So we start from row 1 until row 3, and we define here the columns. We start from also the lower one is 1 and up to 3, or whatever number we want to put. So you can now, if you want to actually define something like 1 to 3, but then inside you would like to only have 2 columns. Is that clear to you, that this is here rows and here columns?
Yeah.
So we will end up having something like this.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, and then we divide this way, and we say 1 and 2. So is it clear, the difference between this and this?
Yeah.
Clear. So we can
Yeah.
proceed.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So now if you know the format, that you can use to create an array, so you know that we are required to create an array that is called assertion numbers. Let me go here. So yes, so this is the assertion number that we're talking about, and this assertion number need to be actually an array. Am I right? It's not a 2D array, it's only 1D array. So can you tell me what to write if I want to define an answer for that? So I would say declare.
Mm-hmm.
And
Declare a session number, array, and then is it like bracket number of copies? I don't know.
Yes, actually, but yes, it's 1. It's starting
Like
from 1.
and then 1 to number of copies.
Yes, but you know why we need to use that?
Because it will depend on the number of copies we have.
Perfect. Okay, good. Then you already know it. And then it will be what kind of data type we will put here as?
As wait, if it's oh no, as integer.
As integer. Okay, but is it correct I say as, or I should use something else?
Oh, off.
Of. Okay,
Of
so
integer.
where do we use as?
When coding.
Okay, vb.net. Okay, so of integer. Okay, good. So it means that we already managed to write that. And let me share with you here again the official answer. And of course, when I pass you the slide, then you will have also everything that we talked about here. Let me see. So sorry, I'm missing the. This is the answer. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the official answer, but I still need to explain a few things to you. So it's correct, like you mentioned, but what I wanted to, I missed out explaining to you. Actually, we should be. So we take a for loop, right? And you manage to use a for loop to assign values to your arrays, right? This is in vb.net or the coding. And then this is a way to assign content of the array. This is if you would like to do that individually. And this is if you would like to use a 2D array and assign you go to, if you have it 3 by 3 like that, and you talk about row number 2 and column number 3, and you put X here. So that's how we do it. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Clear, right?
Wait, let me write this part. I will write this part down because okay.
Okay, done. Okay, good. So I would say the last portion here, I think it's not so difficult, just to make sure that you already know it. So we can make a for loop like this in pseudocode. It is slightly similar to what we see in VB.NET. And what we do is we having an index, and the value of the index start from 1 until 30, or even whatever content of the array. If we're having in our example, for example, the index or the content or the number of copies can range from 1 to 10, right? So if we want to make a loop like that, so we should replace the 30 with 10, and then we can put the assertion number here, for example, and we put the index, and then we can put empty values, or we can even generate numbers here if you would like to. Okay, so this is how he managed to loop through the array and assign values automatically to its content. Did I make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, should I continue?
Hello?
Yes, hello. Okay,
no.
so it means that, yeah, okay, it means here that we already done this part. So we move to the last part, so we can quickly hurry to the VB.NET again.
Okay.
So, okay, as you can see, he said, okay, that's quite simple. So he said, explain what is meant by a user-defined composite data type. So we already somehow explained what is a composite data type. It is a type that can have inside it groups a number of primitive data types inside. Primitive, it is string, integer, and Boolean, or whatever possible real other data types that is already defined by the language. Okay, so this is a type that we define on our own, and we use it to grab other variables that serve our purpose, and then we grab them together in between type and end type, and then we define a name for the data type. We put inside whatever variables that we would like to put. And if we would like to see another example of the user composite data type, so he asked us to give an example, and we already have one. I believe here the student is actually an example of a data type. So this is not given by the exam question. The exam question is talking about a library record data type, and this is an example of another composite data type. So did I make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay.
But do you have the answer for that? Because I like to copy like the definition word by word.
Sure.
Because like it like I'm writing down notes, so like if I can like write it down here. I will remember later
No
to like
worries.
memorize the definition for this because
Um,
I suck at definition.
no problem. Okay. So you can. This is official. This is the official answer. If you would like to.
What do they mean in the 1 mark for example? Because like they said class objects set, but like
So we will talk about classes. I think if we manage to answer the next how to say the next example or question. Um, so what we
does that mean they were like referring to like the variable the data type class from the question
um,
or
no here. So you see, let us go back to the question again and confirm that. So indicate another example of so you can a composite data type you can refer to an example is possible. Composite data types actually is a type that I shared with you, this type that we explained, and another type that is possible that you can share an example with is classes. So also classes is considered composite data type, and classes and objects. But again, this is I will explain it uh, if we have a chance today. I will be able to explain it. Did you hear about
does that
classes?
mean
Uh-huh.
does that mean when they say an example I can just like out the pseudocode like the example you showed me just now
Yes,
about the
exactly.
students
Yes, yes, because this is
like
another
just write
example.
like
Yes,
ah
but
so I
again,
can just write
so you can share same type of example like the student one, or if you can
yeah
share with a class composite data type, also is possible. An object, another possibility is to give an example of an object example. So you, because
mm-hmm.
again we didn't talk yet about classes, so that's why I give you only a single example that you can create to
ah
answer that. Okay, but
okay
again, if we look at um, another example here that come
mm-hmm.
on the same year. So typically this exam question actually come in different versions. So it come in almost 4 versions: 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4. So because for every
Mm-hmm.
time zone they give a different almost similar questions. So if you give you question 1 with pseudocode, it will be among all the zones first question pseudocode, but of course it will be slightly different from between 31, 32, and 34. So if I look here,
uh-huh
this is slightly similar. So he say here, if just I will not go through it, but I just want to share with you. This is exactly same type of question. He talking about composite data type, and but it's a different one, not the library record. It's a building record. So it's talking about
yeah
building ID and price that is last sold and so on. And he also create a variable of that data type, and then he start to ask you question to modify that data type and so on. But except that here he giving you a question that is related to changing So you see here, in portion C of that question, he talk about he wants you to change the building record data type, the composite data type, in using OOP. OOP, did you hear about it before? Object-oriented programming?
I don't think so.
Okay, so in short, he wanted to make you change the building record into a building class. So both of them is actually a composite data type, but they are slightly different. Okay, so it's like if you're talking about array of integers and array of strings, both of them is arrays. Both of these types, object-oriented and or classes, and the type that we look at just now, both of them is composite data types, except that they have different format. So we will talk about that. But if I mean, I want to balance between the theory and the coding. So if we have time, I will go through that question and then we will go through details of that. Okay.
Actually, teacher, I have a question. If you want to balance it out, would it be more efficient if we have we have 2 classes a week, right? Would it be more efficient if we have like 1 class for theory and one class for coding? Because
if you
that
prefer
way,
that, if you prefer
yeah,
that,
because that way it won't be a rush. Like we can like focus on one whole topic for one class, instead of having to jump.
Yes, I agree, except that there will be one drawback. The one drawback is that if you don't write a coding every class, and I'm not able to give you how to say an exercise for coding every class, I worry to 1 week is too long for me to wait until I see your coding, and the coding will totally evaporate. That's the only concern.
If you want, I can actually just send the codings to you.
Okay, fine. But so if you agree, yes, we can continue taking that second question if you would like.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yes.
Because I'd rather focus on the whole topic in one class than having to jump around.
Okay, fine. I will follow whatever your preference is. Okay, so now let's have a look here. Okay, so again, this is a composite data type. We already know they have a building ID, building group, owner name, building address, date last sold, and price last sold. Do you know what is the real?
Yes.
What is the real?
It's kind of like just any number, right?
A number with decimal point?
Yeah, like how for double it can be
exactly
just a number or a number with decimal point. It's like
yes.
that.
So this is a real. Yes. Okay, good. Okay, so we look at the first requirement since we already explained about the composite data type. So can you look here, please? So we said we would like to write a pseudocode, a statement to assign. So inside the building register, this is a variable.
Yeah.
And we have another ID. I think he put it as an integer, if I'm not mistaken here. Can you look at here? It's an integer, yes. Okay. So what we do is, can you tell me what to write?
Building register dot building ID and then the arrow thing and then the quotation marks 1067.
Okay.
With quotation marks. We have
why
that, right?
Yeah. Why need to put quotation marks? Aha, interesting.
Because it's a number that there's no format,
no,
if it's
wait.
something with a format like date, you don't really have to, but if it's like a
No,
whole
no, wait.
thing.
No, Elisa. So it's good that you already said. Okay. It's good note. This actually mark one thing. This mark a string. So when you put double quotation like that, yeah, it's either here or in vb.net. Actually, this marks a string. So you are telling that this is a string. But if that's why before I write it, I have a look first. I looked at the front. Sorry, that's let me see. Let me see. I missed that. Yeah. Okay. So I looked here
Mm-hmm.
and I saw that the building ID is actually an integer, not a string.
Oh,
So I cannot
I
I
spelled it
cannot
wrong.
put with like that. So
Yeah.
this is only mark a string. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Okay. And then if we would like to assign the second one, so he would like us to put house inside building group. So building. Alisa, can you still?
Yeah. Yeah.
So building register dot building group.
Building group, and then this one is string, right?
We look at it. Yes, it's supposed to be string here. It is a string. Building group is a string.
Yeah. Okay,
So
if it's string, then with the quotation mark.
yes, exactly. Okay, so we move to the next. So he is telling us, okay, the type definition building record is changed. The data type for building group is changed to an enumerated type building type with values of house, bungalow, apartment, and farm. Then write the type definition, building type in pseudocode, and then write the new definition of building group in pseudocode. So did you hear about enumerated data types before?
What? Sorry, can you say that again?
Enumerated, so
I don't think so.
okay. So let us have a look at the enumerated data types. Okay. So they somehow look like this. So to fix, if you have, okay, if you have a variable that you would like fixed values to be assigned to that variable that you created, so you can create enumerated data types in this way. So that can work for year months. It can work for seasons like that. It can work for days of a week, and it can work for types of houses like the guy already asked us to do. So he asked us to create a building type this way. So, and he said that we need to put here house, apartment, bungalow, and farm. So this is how we create an enumerated data type. Alisa,
Yep,
Alisa, can
got
you
it.
hear me?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, give me a second to copy it down.
Yes, sure. So Alisa, we have to close and we have to open again.
Okay, got it.